Hello and welcome. You join me here down at the corner of Columbia Ave and 14th, down here at the south and east side of Hope College's campus. And you're down with me today because we're going to talk about our project. So my name is Dr. Jeff Christians. I'm one of the faculty teaching our intro engineering course this year. And I want to tell you about something that we're all going to be working on from now until the end of the semester down here on the southeast corner of campus. So I'm here, we're going to be looking at some of these cottages like the one you see right behind me. This is Schubert Cottage, one of the places we're going to be looking at. Something that we're trying to do at Hope College is make sure we're making wise investments across campus. And one of the ways we're trying to do that is through a fund that I help manage called the Green Revolving Fund, where we take money, spend it on campus upgrades, and then hopefully those upgrades can pay for themselves through the savings in energy and materials. So that's what we're going to be working on here at some of the cottages, focusing specifically on what we call the building envelope, or things like the exterior, insulation, attic, basement, things like that. They're going to help save some of these cottages, some of these older cottages, help save on the energy use that they use every year. So we're down here at the corner of Columbia and 14th because we're going to be looking at 4 of the cottages that are here right around me. So you can see right behind me, that's Schubert Cottage. Right over this way is Beck. That's the second one of the cottages we're going to be looking at. Just across the street here is the Columbia Apartments. And then on the other side of Schubert Cottage is our last cottage. And because I'm forgetting right now, I don't actually remember the name of that cottage. But that's okay for today. So we're going to be looking at these 4 spaces, and your task as a team for this semester is to help us figure out what are going to be the best investments at these 4 places. So we're going to have an overall budget this year of $10,000. That's going to be real money that we actually spend on these 4 locations. You're going to help us decide where to spend it and where we're going to get the most bang for our buck. Are we going to spend it in one place and really make that up to a really high level? Are we going to spend it across all of the different locations? I'm not sure. I don't know what the best solution is going to be. You guys are going to help us figure that out. So what it's going to take is learning a little bit about each of the spaces, learning a little bit about how buildings work, how heat transfer works through walls, also about air leakage, because that's part of it too. We can have heat going through walls. We also can have heat just escaping out of little holes in and around the foundation, the attic, lots of places like that. So that's what we're going to be doing this semester. We're going to be looking at the specifically the heating use and losses in these homes, and trying to run some numbers and see how doing some of these interventions, such as additional insulation in the basement, actually leads to savings on our utility bills. Hopefully we can choose well, and those savings actually are able to help to pay for the project over time and give us a good return on that initial investment. With the Green Revolving Fund, how this will work is we will actually do the project, and then the Green Revolving Fund gets to keep the savings. And we're going to take that savings and continue to invest it in helping to make Hope's campus more sustainable. So helping these energy efficiency and sustainability type projects really spread across campus. That's work that's done not primarily through classes like Engineering 100. That's work that's done by students though. So we have teams of student engineers that actually their on-campus work is as a Green Revolving Fund intern. Maybe some of you will have this role in the future, and you'll get to look around, some of the buildings and spaces around campus and see what kind of investments we can make that help make campus more sustainable while also lowering our operations costs. So things that we think are pretty cool. So again, we're going to have 4 cottages we're going to look at. There will be kind of an individual deep dive of every space where you'll get a short tour. We're going to lead you through some of the problem solving, some of the spreadsheets, some of the math, the heat transfer like you have seen in class, and help you along the way. We're also going to think not just about the energy use, but we're also going to think about the use from the end user, from the students that are actually going to be in these spaces. What kind of things are going to be good changes that actually improve the living space, livability, and going to be able to last long term in each of these spaces. So lots of things to balance. I think it's going to be a fun project. Last year we were able to make some changes at 2 different cottages just up the street from me. Well, one up the street and one kind of back that way at Pole Cottage and Fairbanks. So kind of the overall plan, we are going to have you guys work as groups looking at these 4 spaces. That will give us a lot of different groups kind of diving into the weeds on these spaces. You are going to end up voting for who has the best project ideas in your individual lab sections. And then based on that initial kind of weeding down of ideas, we're going to take those to contractors, get projects bid, and then come up with the final list of changes. That is work that is scheduled to be accomplished in the summer of 2026. So all of these spaces are on kind of the renovation list in 26. So that's when we're going to actually have contractors out here. We're going to do the installation work. I'll send you a video at that point and we'll walk around these spaces and see, hey, what did we actually end up doing? And then we'll see what happens in the next winter. So that's kind of where we're at with last year's class. We're coming up, the weather's still beautiful today, but we're coming up to winter, I hate to say it. And we'll start to see how did our predictions do versus the lived reality. So that's a little bit about our project. We'll continue to learn about it in class and in lab. But for right now, I shared a little bit. What you guys are gonna do is try to come up with some questions that you might have, clarifications, things I didn't explain super well. And then we'll try to circle back with you and give you some answers to those questions that you have. So that's all for now. We're going to be talking a lot about insulation and buildings and building efficiency. Hopefully, both with our buildings and maybe for you as future homeowners too, we'll be able to learn a little bit about how to take care of our spaces. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.